So it's really easy to work with. And as I said, it's a great spiller, which brings us to propagation. It's an easy plant to propagate as this plant grows. And let me show you one that's a little bit more mature and give you an idea how you might be able to propagate. Hi, I'm Kim from the Tye-Dyed Iguana plant team, and today we're going to be talking about a fun plant, a plant that's easy to work with, and a plant that goes from little to big in a relatively short period of time. So if you've struggled a little bit with some of the other plants that we've shown because they're a little bit more high maintenance, this one is probably right up your alley, and you may have seen it here at the shop. It's called the spider plant, and it's called that for good reason. It just sort of looks like a spider as it comes in its pot and just goes ahead and spills out. Now we have these in a variety of sizes. These happen to be in a 2-inch pot. We've got them in larger pots, and I'll show you where we can put those in your terrariums or your habitats here in just a little bit. It's a very pretty plant. You can see the colors are great. It's got a light green, very light green center, and then on the outsides it's got a darker green. From a watering perspective, it likes to be kept moist. Now, if we're keeping it here in our smaller pots, we'll actually keep it in a little bit of water here so it does a little bit of its own butt chugging of sorts, but it just likes to be kept moist. Similarly, it likes to be kept humid. Now, we are currently in the winter months, and as we get into those really cold days, your home heaters are going to be working a little bit harder. So whether you have floor vents or whether you have overhead vents, you need to be checking your plants a little bit more frequently, because if you normally water them once a week, they might need to go twice a week. If you water them twice a week, you might be looking at something every 2 or 3 days. These plants like humidity, so because we have such dry air, a good misting probably every 2 or 3 days works well. And if you're not a person who pays a lot of attention to your plants, a humidifier works really well. And if you don't have a humidifier, a tray with some pebbles in it, fill that up with water, and the natural evaporation in your home will keep these plants nice and moist. In terms of soil, like most of our plants, this likes a nice, well-drained soil. You just need to be making sure that you pack it up a little bit around the edges here and keep it nice and tight. Also, from a light point of view, again, like many of our plants, it likes bright light, it likes indirect light. It's not going to do really well if you put it in a south-facing window. And if you are happening to use something like this outside in your patio, which will work well in the summertime or in the late spring, temperatures 65 to probably 80 degrees, it will work well with a little bit of shade as well. It's just really a pretty plant, and it's very, very versatile. You can use it as a standalone plant, you can put it in a habitat, or you can put it into a vivarium, or it works really well as a potted plant. We've talked before about potted plants, how you can use those 3 major parts: the spiller, the filler, and also the things that go on the side. This is a great spiller because it will spill out the side of a pot, and I'll show you that in just a few moments. Let me also show you, they come in a variety of sizes. So if you have a larger area that you're working with, this one happens to be in a 4-inch pot, and it's doing really, really well. Again, these are relatively easy to work with, so if you have any fear of plants and you don't want to start with a succulent, your spider plant is going to work real well. We have one of these in a terrarium, and we're going to take a second and just walk to the other part of the store, and I'll show you how that works in a terrarium. And again, you need to be conscious of your space when you do that. So let's go take a look. So here we have one of our larger deluxe vivariums. It's got the nice background going on, and we have this spider plant here that's just in the background a little bit. And again, as you have a lot of the darkness in what you're seeing here in the vivarium, this brings a little bit of brightness. Again, you can get a good look here at those leaves, the nice light green in the center, the dark green on the outside, and it just really adds a pop of color to something that might otherwise be just green. The other thing about the hardiness and the ease to work with this is you can experiment with it a little bit. If I were to take one of those smaller ones, those 2 inchers, I might look at taking a little bit of wire, taking a little bit of sphagnum moss, and maybe just hanging it right up here on the top of this bark and cork and letting it spill down. And if it doesn't work out, again, the beauty of the hardiness is I can just take it down and go ahead and put it back in soil. So it's really easy to work with. And as I said, it's a great spiller, which brings us to propagation. It's an easy plant to propagate as this plant grows. And let me show you one that's a little bit more mature and give you an idea how you might be able to propagate. We're just going to walk to the other side of the store. So here we have a potted plant. It's got a bunch of different plants in it, but the centerpiece for this one, the spiller, is the mother plant of the spider plant, and it is very, very large. So all of this green that you see in the center here is your spider plant. Again, it's a little less light green on the outside, more dark green on the inside because of its size, and it's putting out the pups. It's putting out the baby spiders, and this is a great example here of how you can propagate. All you need to do, and this one has 3 pups on it, is you can just cut right about here where this node is, and the node goes in the soil, keep it nice and moist, and off it goes. And you can see that this pup is pupping out itself. So in a while, this tiny little one will also be ready to be propagated. So you can start with a 2-inch potted spider plant like I showed you earlier, and probably within about 6 months, you're gonna have a bunch of them going on. Occasionally, you will see a tiny, tiny white flower be put out by the spider plant. That just adds to the beauty of it. So you have the colors of the leaves, the light green in the middle, the dark green on the sides, and then you have that little white flower that will come out. They don't last long. The spider plant really isn't known or valued for its flower. It's just an interesting side effect. It's known for the color of its leaves, and it's known for its ability to spill. So whether you're looking at a 2-inch pot, the 4-inch pot, or something a little larger, if you're going to go ahead and get some of your plants getting ready for the springtime, your spider plant is a great centerpiece as it grows up. That will be the spiller and the thriller that you have on your potted plant. That's our plant of the week this week, the spider plant.